Today we're going to take a look at what to expect in the test nav and sort of go through the tutorial and point out some of the basic things we need to be familiar with the online testing software. So the first way to access that is to get into Canvas. So if you go to www.instructure.com, or if you already have Canvas bookmarked or saved wherever, okay, you'll log in just like you would normally log into Canvas. Now, you might be watching this as a student because you're getting ready to take the iStep 10 in the future, or maybe you're watching this as a teacher because you just want to become more familiar with the program. Either way, once you get logged into Canvas, you just need to go into one of your courses. And once you click into one of your courses, over here on the left-hand side, you should have Test Nav 8 available to click on. So go ahead and click on Test Nav 8. And then this will open with a blue button that says Open in a new tab. So go ahead and click that. Okay, and today we're going to focus on this bottom option, which is the Grade 10 online tutorial. So let's click that bottom button. And then once this loads, you're going to have to click Start, which is the same type of format that you'll have to do when you actually take the test. So you'll sort of have this same sort of screen with a Start button that you use to sort of log in and get access to the test. So you can pause this at any point that you would like to, but you'll just notice some things that you can see as you're going through here. It'll give you some more information. Okay, so it will tell you to use the blue arrow at the top to move to the next screen. So if we look over here, we can sort of start to scroll through. Okay, and it's going to give you some info, okay, on things that you'll see when you're ready to take the test. You'll have a sign-in screen where you'll be provided with a username and a password, and then you'll sign in. Okay. Once you sign in, you'll be able to see your name at the top. You always want to make sure that you're taking your test and not anyone else's. So you'll just want to confirm that the test is yours. Okay, I don't know why it explains these blue buttons after we've already had to use them, right? But here are arrow buttons for moving forward and backwards throughout the test. There'll be a review button up here, a bookmark button. Okay, it'll tell you what test you're in and what section you're in. And then in this display area, it'll show a number and it will show you what problem you're on out of the number that are on the test. Okay, so some important things to note is the review button that will be up here in the top of your screen will be something you can click on that will allow you to jump to any problem that you want. So if you're on number 5, but you want to jump to number 12, you can click the review and move forward or backwards throughout those problems. Okay, the bookmark tab up here, you will be able to click on and you'll be able to make it turn blue when you click or unclick, and it will just make a little mark by that page, noting that that's a place that you want to return to. That's going to show up later when we get to the review portion. Okay, so if you click this bookmark tab and then we do review, you'll actually see something show up that's telling you you want to go back and check out. Okay, here's sort of what your screen will look like when you finish a session. Okay, it'll tell you the number of problems that you haven't answered and the number of problems that you had bookmarked. So you could choose to select review and go back to the problems that you haven't answered. Those will have the yellow circles. Or you could choose to go back to the problem that you have bookmarked, and those will have those little blue sort of tabs next to them. Okay, so you can go through all of that. When you're finished reviewing, it will ask you to go to the end of this section. So again, you'll click the review and then select end of section. That will take you back to the very end of the test. Once you know that you've finished everything, you'll go through and then you'll select that you're done. You'll click submit. It's going to give you this warning to make sure that you're ready to submit your test. If you are not ready to submit your test, do not click yes, because once you submit your test, you can't go back. So you just want to make sure that's what that warning is. This is sort of your last chance before you would submit. Okay, up here in the top corner, it's just showing you where you'll be able to sign out when you're completely finished for the time being. Any time that you're exiting the test, you really shouldn't be saving and returning for later. That would be in an absolutely situation where medically you're sick or something. You have to get back and finish that test within so much time. So hopefully we're not running into any of those situations. Okay, so again, just this idea of what it can look like at the very, very end, submitting your test, and yes, submit your final answers. Okay, you'll also have a toolbar provided for you in the math portion. Okay, so some things that you'll see are your pointer. There's a ruler that's inches and centimeters. There's an option eliminator, and then also the calculator. Okay, sometimes there'll also be items provided over on the side of your screen. Okay, the pointer tool is just your general selecting multiple choice answers and clicking at places on the screen. Okay, if you need the ruler, there's a measuring tool that you can use. You can drag it and drop it around the screen. Okay, so if you open the ruler, you can drag this thing around however you like. When you're ready to get rid of it, you just click that again. Right, you could use it to measure side lengths, all of those things. Okay, if you click on the calculator button, notice that you're provided with a graphing calculator. The test during the calculator portion, this is the calculator that's provided for you. Okay, you can drag it around on the screen and find sort of a place that makes it work while you can still see the problems you're supposed to be working on. Again, if you click the calculator button again, it will make that close. The answer eliminator tool is this up here, okay? And when you click on that, you'll be able to click on top of a multiple choice answer and cross out that you know that that's not a choice you want to pick. Okay, so here's an example we can try. If you click that and then select over something that you don't want to pick, or you can re-click it to make that go away. Okay, there's also a highlighter. This is for when you click and you sort of drag. It will then allow you to select a color if you want to highlight something. Okay, you sort of have some options, right? That X that I just clicked also is what makes it go away, right? So if we were to drag this, right, we could say that we want the highlighting to come off, right? So maybe if you want to pay attention to something, something that you want to make note of or make sure that you're remembering, if you come back to a question, you can highlight some things. So there's some things with changing background color and foreground color. Maybe that's mostly in place if you have certain colors that you can read easier or see better. Okay, so if you are clicking up here, right, you can change the background and foreground. So I guess if you have a color that makes you feel happy or more positive while you're taking the test, then go ahead. Okay, I personally don't like to have a black background, but again, sort of whatever works for you. There is a line reader mask. So this is also from the user drop-down menu. Okay, you can then sort of hide other things on your screen that are bothering you. So you can just focus on things that you want to focus on. Okay, so if you click on this, right, it'll sort of just select what you want to select. This is great if you want to sort of just focus on a line at a time and get rid of other distractions. This is a fantastic tool to use, especially in the English portion of the test. Okay, so maybe if you're sorting through multiple choice and you don't want to be distracted by other options, right, you could open up the line reader and sort of cover over and decide, this is something I want to select or this isn't something I want to select, and then just move on to the next piece. Okay. text-to-speech buttons are only available if we are using headphones, which we will not have access to. You won't be testing by yourself, so you won't be talking during the test exam. Okay, we also have a formula sheet for the math portion of our test that's over here on the right, and it says exhibits. If you click on this, this will open up and provide the formulas that you're allowed to have access to during the test. There's an X up here that you can click to close out of it. Right, then there's our basic things of just being able to scroll, answer with multiple choice. So we can go through and look at some of those pieces, right? If we have a scroll bar on the side, that will say that we can scroll up and down to look at more things. It's important to understand that you might only be able to scroll on one side. Okay, so you can either use your mouse or you can sort of click and drag, right? But it's important to realize that nothing over here is moving. It's just moving the side of our paper over here. We should be able to do that. So multiple choice only have one correct answer, where if you select a different answer, it will remove the one that you already had. Notice I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to what the correct answer should be. So if you want to pause and take time to read those, you can. Okay, then there's also problems where we can have multiple choice that we can select multiple answers. Okay, they technically call these multiple select. Okay, but where you might need to be highlighting or selecting only one answer at a time. So it will tell you over here, right, if you highlight too many, it's saying, hey, warning, you aren't allowed to do that. You're only supposed to pick 3 because that's what the directions say. Okay, there's drag and drop, where we might be clicking something and pulling it to a specific category. Right, so using your mouse, you'll click on the number and then drag it to the area where you want that to go. There'll be a free response where you just type in answers. I'll often have students who say to me, there's something that it's not letting me type something in. Okay, so just make sure you're knowing what keys you can do. So you might want to go through, right, and try just typing in some of these different values, making sure you're understanding how to enter those, right? Our negative is to the right of the 0. You can go through and sort of type in some of our values there. Then the largest piece that students struggle with are these open-ended, where we also need to be doing some math and typing in some math. Okay, so this allows us to not only type a sentence, okay, but it will also allow us to enter some math. So over here we'll have some symbols of things we can type in, like fractions. Okay, you will have to actually click on this math symbol key to get this display to open up. Okay, you can click to undo or to redo or to delete the entire thing. Okay, so that's the end of the tutorial, at least for me giving you an explanation. I definitely think after you've watched this, it would be worth taking some time to click through all of these on your own. Make sure you're able to drag and drop, make sure you're able to type in answers, access the calculator, all those different things that it's talking about. The more time that you become familiar with the software, the more familiar you'll be with it on the test, and it won't be something that you're trying to figure out as you go. Okay, so we'll submit our final answers because that's what it will look like when we do this on the test, and then we'll be done.